have been volunteering my entire life. I think my love for volunteering started when I was younger. I started off by acting, singing, and dancing. So I've always been the type of person who loves to be in front of a crowd or entertain and things like that. I'm in theater and choir, and with that comes a lot of volunteering. There's a lot of leadership positions in that with fundraising and ticket sales and events.
She is incredibly outgoing. She's gregarious, loves to be involved, participate, make sure that others feel comfortable and welcomed. She always has a really positive attitude and outlook on things.
I'm also a part of SMAC, Student Movements Against Cancer, where we make kits for kids with cancer, and we do an annual Ocean City walk.
Alyssa in particular is very altruistic, and you see this in her myriad experiences and her want to reach out to children, whether they are involved in the high school or not, or even her fellow peers here at the high school.
I work with students with special needs. I think my love for that grew in two ways. I go to Bring Your Child to Work Day with my mom every year, and she's a teacher, and she's always had students with special needs in her classes, being an inclusion teacher. And I just remember just getting close with them and talking to them and playing basketball during recess. And I just loved hanging out with them, and opportunities have been presented to me over the years to help out with them more, and I've just always taken them. I work with a company called Holton's Heroes, and that's where I teach students with traumatic brain disorders how to dance, which is super cool that I get to combine my passion for the arts with my passion for them.
I think volunteering is important specifically with high schoolers because it shows the want to give back to a community that hopefully gave very much to you as a person.
I think volunteering is important because it just makes everybody happier. Not only will it make the people happier that you're helping because they're receiving help, but it will help you and make you happier because you're learning leadership skills and responsibility, and just seeing other people happy makes you happy when you're in the moment. So just radiating positivity,
Volunteering to me is helping other people whenever I can, however I can.
Liz is brand new to the National Honor Society, just got accepted in late November.
I partake in the drives and service activities.
Once a month, we do things for people.
I also partake in Circle of Friends bowling. So I go bowling every Thursday after school. We would go to the bowling alley with the special needs kids, and we'd bowl for a couple of hours. It was really nice and fun.
Did a bunch of cards, virtual cards, and also handwritten cards. Liz did over and above the amount of cards for kids in hospitals.
I do Hug Wraps, which is a volunteer organization where we create products to sell and fundraise for materials to make Hug Wraps, which are radiation gown alternatives.
Her dad had cancer, and I think she made these wraps to help people warm when they were going through treatment.
During the summer of 2018, my dad had been diagnosed with cancer. So we're looking for things to do to give back to our community and for people who are going through treatments like him, because he had to go through radiation and chemo and a couple of surgeries.
She did that out of the goodness of her heart. I mean, she gave of herself to do those Hug Wraps.
If we were able to, make something to help people who were going through cancer treatment feel better, I would absolutely do it. And so we did.
She mentioned that she was making masks for people in the community, for healthcare professionals at the beginning, and then also for neighbors. And I said, oh my gosh, that would be great, because everybody was scrambling for masks.
I knew that there were a bunch of people who didn't have access to masks or PPE. So I threaded up my sewing machine, cut out a pattern, and I took every last scrap of fabric that I had in my house, and I made about 500 masks, and I donated them to healthcare workers and volunteers and first responders.
She learned how to do them all online and used a sewing machine, and she wanted to make them for people. And so it was wonderful.
Winning this award to me means that all the service I've done doesn't go unnoticed, and that there are people who see what I do and people who have thanked me for what I've done, which is really nice to hear.
It's really important for people to see that others need it, and just the internal gratification from helping someone is amazing.
To help someone else feel like they're being heard and to feel like they're loved and to feel safe is one of the best things you can do pretty much in the world for a person. And helping other people also allows you to kind of help yourself and give yourself that feeling of, I have a choice and the opportunity to help other people, and being able to do that is awesome.
So when I found out about this award, I actually found out through email, just because of everything with COVID this year. But I was really excited when Mrs. O'Neill emailed me and she told me that I got the award. I felt really honored, and I was just overall super happy about it.
I knew Samantha as her guidance counselor, and it's been a joy watching Samantha grow up from a 14-year-old teenager to a lovely young lady.
For me personally, volunteering has always been something that I've done since I was little, and it's been something that's instilled in me ever since I was young. This year I'm currently Spanish Club president, and through that, one of our activities that we've done, we had these e-cards available. So we worked with the organization Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos. It is basically a company that had these cards designed by Latin American artists. And you could put in your email and email these cards to a family member or a friend, and the profit from these cards would be split between the Latin American artist, and then the other half would go to Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos. More recently, I've worked through NHS and set up a donation drive for Pinelands Family Success Center. With that, they are doing an infant and toddler education program there. So they're looking for diapers and baby wipes. Something I've done outside of the Seneca community is I've worked with Farmers Against Hunger.
She actually organizes the trucks and everything going to the farm markets in Patterson, and then she makes sure all the extra produce that's left over is then given to Farmers Against Hunger.
As a high school student, I feel it's really important to volunteer because I feel that it gives our younger generation a voice. I believe it's something that a lot of kids should try and do. It definitely helps build a lot of character, and it can definitely help you look more inward at yourself.
She gives back just naturally. It's not a project for her, it's who she is.
Christina has been here. She does the behind the scenes work. She does the forefront work. She's the true meaning of a president officer of a club at school.
My biggest service project is Make-A-Wish. And I've been president of Make-A-Wish this year, and I've been a part of the Make-A-Wish Club for 4 years now at Shawnee.
From her freshman year, she was involved more than the typical freshman. She spent a lot of time with the older students who were officers. She knew them well, so she felt comfortable joining in on officer responsibilities, even though she wasn't an officer yet.
I had some mutual friends who actually knew Miss Kelly, and they knew we would click immediately and connect. So once I met her, we really did just get to work and immediately connected. And she's really the reason that I started doing all this service work.
Always expressed an interest, was at almost every event, behind the scenes and attending as a guest.
My favorite trip, my service project that I've been on is the Give Kids the World Village in Kissimmee, Florida. A bunch of us flew down there, and we got to meet Wish kids and Wish families and get to make connections with them and serve food and get to know their stories a little bit more.
It's just a fantastic event, and Christina went all out. I think maybe some of her theater experience kicks in for that, and she certainly puts on a lively, entertaining show. She directs it towards the children who are there and their families, and did everything with a smile from start to finish.
As a kid, I've always been involved in service, and my parents have always made it a top priority in our family's lives. And we decided to start raising money and doing these things called performathons to fundraise for different nonprofits.
Her performance in plays and in music in the school and in the community certainly spilled over into our efforts with the club.
We're able to get prodigies from the area, and we are all able to put a show together and a performance, and invite some of the administration from the different nonprofit organizations. And we actually, for the Children's Hospital Philadelphia, were able to help purchase a Steinway piano for their lobby as well. So that was an amazing experience.
That personality, that enthusiasm for making people happy by what you can do, transferred over to a volunteer. Seeing that you can make a difference just brightens your horizons. It makes you feel like a better person. It gives you another sense of purpose.
You can make such a big impact and make such a change, and all the accomplishments really do pay off. And it's amazing to hear different people's stories and have all these opportunities and projects to really make an impact in somebody else's lives.